Food Safety and Standard Import Regulations 2017 and licensing of food importers. This is a very important aspect for controlling all the foods imported to India. Provisions are relating to import. FSSAI has been established. First, the preambles of the FSSAI. FSSAI has been established for laying down science-based standard for articles of food and to regulate the manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So, FSSAI is totally responsible for import of food clearance, and regarding to that, there is a particular section 25 has empowered to Government of India to control all food imports to India. So, under this section, no person shall import into India any unsafe or misbranded or substandard food or food containing extraneous matters. Any article of food for import of which license is required under any act or rules or regulations except in accordance with the conditions of the license, any article of food in contraventions of any other provisions of this act or any rules or regulations made thereunder or any other act. In this context, while prohibiting, restricting or otherwise regulating imports of the article of food or Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992 under the section 22 of 1992 follow the standard laid down by the Food Authority under the provisions of the Act and rules and regulations made hereunder. Exercising the powers of this Act, Food Import Regulations 2017 have been notified on 9th March 2017. According to the Food Import Regulations, the first definitions is food. Food means any substance, whether processed, partially processed or unprocessed, which is intended for human consumption, including primary food, genetically modified food or engineered food, or food containing such ingredients, infant food, packaged drinking water, alcoholic drinks, chewing gum, and any substance including water used into the food during its manufacture, preparations or treatment, but does not include animal feed, live animals, unless they are prepared or processed for placing on the market for human consumption, plants prior to harvesting, drugs, medicines, medicinal product, cosmetics, narcotics or psychotropic substances. These are out of the ambit of food. Food business operator means in relation to food business means a person by whom the business is carried on or owned on and is responsible for ensuring the compliance of this Act, rules and regulations made thereunder. Food importer means a food business operator importing or desirous of importing a particle of food into Indian territory who is duly licensed as importer under the Food Safety and Standards Licensing and Food Business Regulations 2011 made under this Act. That means all the importer should have a license under this Act before bringing any import to India. Central Licensing Authority means the designated officers appointed by the Chief Executive Officer of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India in his capacity of Food Safety Commissioner. These are all definitions related to the Act. Under the Section 31 of the Food Safety and Standard Act, no person shall commence or carry out any business, food business except under a license or registration. It means all the food importers need a license, and the particularly import license to be obtained from Central Licensing Authority. So, while the food importers need to apply to Central Licensing Authority only for obtaining a license. While applying, the first basic requirement is they must have a code, import-export code from Director General of Foreign Trade before the applications and filing the applications in the net. The application generation process and submission of applications and to obtain a license is showing by this diagram. While it is a web-based process, all the importers need to access the FSSAI website and they should go for licensing option. They have to generate their own ID, password and ID for accessing the website. After generating self-creating the password and ID, they can opt for submission of the applications in the net website, and after filing the form B with some requisite enclosures will be shown in the enclosures end. They have to upload enclosures. Then after completing the enclosures, there will be submission of license fee option. Well, they can submit the license fee online system. After submission of the license fee, form B will be automatically generated from the system, which will be signed by the applicant and to be uploaded. Then after submission all this document, there will be a system generated application reference. That reference will be used for any future correspondence with the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. So while after submission these applications, the license application will be scrutinized by the Central Licensing Authority, and if any discrepancy or any more clarification is required, they will be sending it back to the domain of the applicant. After submission of the clarifications and satisfactory verification, the Central Licensing Authority will generate the license, which will be available to the applicant in his login ID. This is a point to be noted for every importer after obtaining license, that they have to submit annual return of their import after finish of every financial year within the period of 31st May of each financial year. Otherwise, they have to pay 100 rupees fine per day. This is one of the copy of issued license. One thing to be noted, that the issued licensing officer is not immediately beneath the designated officer. There is Central Licensing Authority. It must be noted that all import license should be issued by the Central Licensing Authority only. Otherwise, no license will be issued by any other agency will be treated to be valid. It will be treated as invalid. Now there is a search option. If customs officer wants to verify, they can go to the website, FSSAI website directly. There is an FBO search in licensing registration option. So putting the license number and using the search option, they can find out whether the said license is valid or invalid. By that way, each customs official can verify the position of the license and whether it is issued by the FSSAI or not. Authorized officers means a person appointed as such by Chief Executive Officer of the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India by an order for the purpose of performing functions under Section 25 of the Act. Authorized officer is totally responsible for all the port functionaries regarding clearing of imported food and other ingredients which are required to be added to the food. So authorized officers has got responsibilities regarding as mentioned here: to receive applications from food importers for imported food clearance, to make such inquiry inspection as may be necessary to verify that the import of food, article of food, is not in contraventions of any provisions of the acts and rules and regulations thereunder. So it is to be mentioned, there are numbers of regulations, all the regulations to be connected and to be verified while scrutinizing the application in a first phase. Refuse inspection and intimate the customs if article of import are misclassified as food based on end-use declarations. Sometimes some ingredients or some additives which are not allowed for a particular category of food were to be used, that to be verified from the regulations. To ensure compliance, all the conditions specified in Regulation 6, to take the photograph of imported food consignment for review and determination, to draw samples for testing of imported food if all the conditions specified in the regulations are complied. To collect additional samples of imported article of food and on payment of invoice value of the article of food, it may be the additional requirement for any type of record keeping, or any requirement may be happened in future if authorized officer is supposed to keep its record. After drawing sample, it is the responsibility of the authorized officer to reseal and package the consignment in its original condition. Next, to forward the samples to food analyst of a notified laboratory in a proper manner for analysis and receive the report of the laboratory analysis. To order additional tests on food samples of the imported food based on the visual inspection risk potential instruction issued from time to time from the food authority. So, authorized officer has to find out if any additional test is required as per the instruction or as per the situation prevails. To inform the food authority of any new variety of food or food ingredients, previously unknown hazards or any other technical difficulties. To maintain record of food imports, inspection, sampling, all relevant records to be maintained, and action and review process within the jurisdiction of the custom ports assigned to him. Such other duties assigned by the food authority from time to time in writing and by photographs or audio videographs if required. To report to the concerned licensing authority of any violation of any conditions of license by the food importer, to recommend destruction or re-export of the food imported article with necessary conditions as he may deem fit, ensure the compliance. To inform laboratory immediately on receipt of the advance notice of arrival of import under the pre-arrival document review of the article of food. To ensure laboratories authorized by the food authority comply with the all specific procedure and perform all the parameters of testing as specified in the regulations or permissions accorded by the food authority. To ensure the laboratories authorized by the food authority shall maintain a record of the laboratory analysis of imported articles of food in the format as specified with food authority. To present all the related facts and documents before the review officers during the review process. To seek data or information on imported article of the food consignment from customs authority. To store the remaining parts of the food samples in appropriate conditions for reanalysis at referral food laboratory on the basis of the appeal or application received from the food importer, or return to the return of food importers with acknowledgement after issue of no objection certificate. To issue no objection certificate or non-conformance report as the case may be. To carry out any other duties as may be assigned by the food authorities from time to time. Some of the imports which are not required no objection certificate from FSSAI, like import for personal consumption, food imported by diplomatic missions, import of food for purpose of research and development, import of food for the purpose of exhibition and testing, import of food for international sports events, import of food consignment meant for 100% export. So this food imports does not require NOC from FSSAI. Some of the labeling defects which are coming under the rectifiable labeling category. So authorized officer after inspection under this section may order to rectify the label before drawing the samples or before carrying out the physical verifications. So these are the labeling defects. Name and address of the importer in case of where complete address are not mentioned or exporter's name with address are mentioned as per the circular issued by the authority on 22/5/2018. FSSAI logo with license number. So if the imported consignment label does not contain the logo and license number, so that can be rectified in the before the drawing the samples. Veg non-veg logo which may not be present. Category or subcategory along with generic name, nature and composition of the proprietary food. This is only in case of proprietary food only. FSSAI by 22/5/18 has allowed the dispensation of labeling with stipulated conditions for rectifications under customs go down, name and address of the manufacturer or packer, lot, code, batch number, identifications number, depending on the document verifications. Before allowing the authorized officer to rectify the label in case of batch code number, they should verify from the other documents that it is genuine and batch number is correct, which are going to be pasted. Date of manufacture and packing also they have to verify from the document. Declaration regarding food additives, if it is mentioned in proper document, that should be verified. In case of organic products, organic logo should be present as per FSSAI norms. After getting conformance report from the laboratory, authorized officer has to issue no objection certificate in Form 3, and in certain cases like chilled item, frozen food and pre-packaged food for direct consumptions, as per the circulars of FSSAI, authorized officer may issue provisional NOC to clear the certificates after obtaining affidavit from the importer. In case of sample found non-conforming, then non-conformance report to be issued in Form 4. After the reviewing and obtaining the certificate from FSSAI headquarters regarding destruction of the consignment due to health risk, the authorized officer has to issue mandatory destruction order in Form 5. When any non-conformance report is issued, importer may appeal to the first review committee to reconsider the import, and in such occasion importer has to send applications in prescribed format Form 6 to the director import along with the all relevant document to review the petition. If importer is not satisfied on the decision of first review committee, they have the chance to appeal to Apex committee chaired by Chief Executive Officer of FSSAI, New Delhi. in a proper format, importer got the chance to send a second review for their consignment. The decision of the second review committee is a final. Sometimes in CFS or port, lot of unclaimed cargoes remained due to not turning off of importer for clearance. In such occasion, authorized officer has to follow the same procedure as prescribed in the regulation, that is inspection, sampling, testing and clearance for disposal of the uncleared goods. Authorized officer shall, on receipt of request made by the custodian after ensuring the requisite fee has been paid, issue either a no objection certificate or non-conformance certificate after assessing the safety of uncleared good or unclaimed consignments as may be happened. Thank you.